Recording in.
All right, all right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our third Friday Women's League call. My name is Michelle Glover, Chair of the Women's League of the Atlanta Black Chambers, where we are all about helping our Black women entrepreneurs grow and scale their business, creating generational wealth through entrepreneurship, moving from solopreneur to enterprise. And so we do this every third Friday at 8:30 in the morning. So make sure you tune in to join us each and every third Friday. But I want to shout out, if this is your first time on a Women's League call, let us know. Put that in the chat. Say, this is my first time, because we would love to welcome you. All of my first time members, please, please, please put your information in the chat. And so what we do is we want you to introduce yourself, put your name, the name of your business, one sentence about what you do. No flyers, no paragraphs here. One sentence about what you do so we can show you some love. Again, the name of your business, one sentence about what you do, your website, so we can stay connected with you. So please, let me see if I see any first timers in here. Thought I saw some coming up. Where were they? Oh, Vivian. Welcome, Vivian. Welcome to our Women's League meeting. And again, if this is your first time, put that in the chat so we can shout you out and give you some love. And I see we have our, a lot of new first timers here. And we have our very newly formed engagement team that we're super excited to have. I think Taria is representing the engagement team. Tani is the lead of the engagement team. And I think someone else, Renee, may be joining us, who also will be shouting you out and giving you love for all of our first timers. So welcome, welcome, welcome to our Women's League call. Again, just make sure, and also we'll make sure we put in the chat the website for the Women's League, so that way you could stay engaged and learn more about the organization through the website. The Women's League is an affinity group of the Atlanta Black Chambers. So the chamber comprises of multiple committees that are industry specific, all with the same goal of helping our Black entrepreneurs become profitable, sustainable, competitive. So they have committees and they also have affinity groups that are based on your demographic. So the Women's League is a part of that. And we are, again, super excited that you have joined us this third Friday. All right, so let's get into today. So I had Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror, playing as you came in this morning. Again, one of my favorite songs. Get that one tear that comes up every time I hear that song because it's so impactful. But and that really is a great starter for what we're talking about today, and that's leveraging nonprofits for business success. And we are so excited to have our very own Calondra Tibbs today as our speaker. She is on the Women's League planning team, helps us coordinate all of our events. But behind that, she has a business, Trifecta Advising. And so she is the CEO and nonprofit strategist of Trifecta Advising, a consulting firm that partners with nonprofits, community organizations, and businesses to design mission aligned programs, strengthen operations, and evaluate impact. With over 20 years of experience in public health and nonprofit leadership, Calondra has worked with national organizations, grassroots initiative, philanthropic partners to build strategies that drive both sustainability and equity. And so she really helps organizations, and this is the key I want you to take. She helps organizations drive or build the purpose to profit. So aligning your purpose and your overall why and having an impact to the community, and doing that, helping them also gain profit. So it's kind of that business and community. And I think, Calondra, I say this, I put this in the text this morning, that what right now I feel as a society, people are wanting to be more philanthropic. You see so much need, and you're like, I have a business, but I want to help. And how do I blend the two? So she is going to talk to us today about that purpose to profit strategy with our nonprofits. So let's give Calondra a round of applause and welcome her. She's on the Women's League all the time behind the scenes. We're giving her the platform to share about what she does and her experience.
Thank you so much, Michelle, for that amazing introduction. I'm gonna have to take you with me everywhere I go from now.
For a small fee.
For a small fee. Yes, Libby is giving me a message about sharing. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much again for having me here, Michelle. It's really exciting to talk about the things that I do because a lot of times when I tell people the work I do, it's like, huh? You make money doing that? Yes, I do make money doing this. But it's exciting, and I'm so glad you played that man in the mirror because the change that we want to see, especially during these times, are going to start with our businesses, our energy and our growth standing behind that. So you've already done an introduction for me, but just to share a little bit about who I am, I've been doing nonprofit and government leadership work for over 20 years, helping organizations raise annually between $5 and $10 million to support their mission-driven activities. Working with, and since I started my business in 2020, helping those mission-driven businesses, large and small, helping them to expand their reach, growth, and all of that, and training those teams to do the work that they do. So I'm so excited to be doing this work as a part of my mission, because, as I've been learning more and more, my mission is to serve. I love serving people. I love serving others. So this is really exciting for me. So really quick, before we get started and hop into this presentation, what I want to ask is, how many of you already have nonprofits? If you already have a nonprofit, drop a 1 in the chat for me. If you're thinking about, if you partner with a nonprofit in any way in your business, if you could drop a 2 in the chat for me, just so I can see who here is already doing this work. Oh my gosh, so many of you already have nonprofit businesses. This is a 1 and 2. I see some 1 and 2s. So, and I think that this is what, when we think about nonprofits, a lot of times we think, oh my goodness, there's no money there. It's only charity. I'm just going to be donating all of my time. But really and truly, nonprofits are businesses. They're just businesses with a mission, and they have a different structure. And I should also offer a disclaimer. I am not an accountant. I'm not a lawyer. So to structure your nonprofit, if that's something you want to consider, please seek counsel. What we do is help you stay compliant, but we do not set up those entities at Trifecta Advising. But again, when you're thinking about nonprofit, it's like we're saying, oh my gosh, there's no money there. There's no way to get there. But nonprofits make money every day. They get contracts, grants, sponsorships, other program funding. It's just that funding comes to them a little bit differently. And then the other key thing is that the funds are not distributed back to the owner. So that's the biggest difference. And I'll talk a little bit about pitfalls that we get into when we try to start nonprofits, say, oh, I'm going to make my business tax exempt so that I don't have to get taxed. But that's not the right way to go about doing that work. And so you want to think about it as an entity that it's a business. It has all the same structures, but the governance of that business is a little bit different. So let's take a look quickly at what the difference is. So for the nonprofit, for-profit and nonprofit, for-profit, you own it. Any of the revenue that comes from it, depending on how you set it up, do you have a partnership, some other agreement, that that ownership transfers to you, the individual, or that group. Whereas a nonprofit is not owned by you, it's owned by the public. So you cannot establish a nonprofit under your business, because that means your business owns the nonprofit. It has to be a separate entity where no one, the public owns it. The purpose, obviously, your business is for profit and growth, whereas the nonprofit is mission and community impact. When you're thinking about revenue, your revenue, like I said before, goes to the owners and shareholders, whereas your nonprofit revenue must be reinvested. It has to go back into the mission. You want to think about the taxes. You pay taxes, obviously, on your for-profit business, and you're tax exempt depending on your tax exempt status, 501c3, or similar. And then you want to think about, how do you get funding for the nonprofit versus for-profit? For-profit, you got to have investors or sales, whereas nonprofits, you have grants, donations, and sponsorships. So those are the biggest differences. between those two entities. And the more you understand that, and how do you, and we'll talk about how do you leverage that, that will help you understand how do I get my mission out there, the things that I love to do, the things that I want to help communities at, how do I align that with my business? In order to make a bigger impact and drive business towards my for-profit arm. It's also important to understand that your nonprofit is a public trust. Okay, you may have founded it, but you don't own it. What your role in the nonprofit is to steward it, and the power comes when you align that nonprofit with your for-profit work, right? So they should be complementing each other if you have them. I mean, you could also partner with a nonprofit if you didn't want to have the responsibility of having it, but if you decide to have ownership or lead a nonprofit, then that's some things that you want to consider. So when we're talking about social enterprise, so social enterprise is basically where the magic between your business and your mission aligns. Okay. So social enterprise is basically saying that not only do I do for-profit work, but is also saying that I have a mission and I have something that I want to give back to the community. When we look at the social enterprise, it's the intersection of both profit and purpose. Is basically saying that you're doing your business principles drive social change. So like if you want to sell some services for your in your businesses, maybe you have a construction company and you build houses in that company, but you also have a passion for wanting to provide low-income housing for families. Well, maybe that's in your nonprofit arm because you can't generate enough revenue to sustain your business. But what the nonprofit arm would allow you to do is gain access to grants and other resources that would help you to then push forward your mission. And I hope that makes sense. If that's making sense to you, let me know in the chat, give me some feedback, and let me know if that's resonating with you. So pulling together that nonprofit arm to do the things that maybe you cannot make money from on your own by leveraging grants or other resources that you may gain. So I want to make sure I'm leaving time for questions. So how do you're like, okay, Calondra, how do I do this? How do I leverage that? So you want to think about it a little bit differently than saying, okay, if I build this nonprofit, then all of a sudden this money is going to flow. That's not necessarily how it works. But what the nonprofit arm helps you do is build credibility and trust in your community. It allows you to get access to grants and sponsorships that would not be available to you as a for-profit business. And these grants, depending on how they're set up or how the sponsorships are set up, these are money that can go directly to that mission-aligned activity. It also helps you expand your brand through social impact initiatives and create partnerships with corporations and government agencies. So you may not have been able to get a contract with your for-profit business, but you may be able to get it with your through your nonprofit arm. And then also it helps you to attract clients to your business when they want to do business with purpose-driven brands. Okay, so being mission-minded isn't just good for PR, it's smart business. Companies and clients today want to support brands that give back. So your nonprofit or support of a nonprofit can bridge between your passion and your profit. And when we're thinking about where are those pitfalls, so these are the things that you want to make sure you're kind of staying away from. You want not treating your nonprofit like it's a side hustle. It is not a side hustle. It needs structure, just like your business needs structure, an accounting system, legal team. All of those same things that you need for your business, you need those same things for a nonprofit. But then there's a little bit of extra, that board, that governance piece that you have to add on. So the other pitfall that we get into with, I hear from my for-profit colleagues that have nonprofits like, oh, I own this. You do not own it. The board, you have a board that governs your nonprofit. So again, I go on the side piece. When you select your board, be very careful. If you designed a nonprofit that's your passion, the one that you set up, but you have a board, that board can take is own technically governs that and makes the decisions for the nonprofit. They are the fiduciary. So if anything happens, you may see yourself on the other side of that nonprofit. And I've seen it happen before. So be very careful how you select your board and making sure that they are aligned with you, your passion, and the work you want to do. So that was my side. So also you want to be careful that you do not ignore compliance. The biggest challenge that nonprofits get into is their IRS filings and their bylaws. You must file IRSs, even if it's the little postcard. If you're making $50,000 or less revenue, you still have to submit something to let them know that your business, your nonprofit business is still operating, and you must have bylaws in place that shows that you function as a nonprofit, because they, believe it or not, they get checked. I have my clients that have gone through audits by IRS about their bylaws and having to submit all that. And then the other piece is you don't want to rely on donations only for your nonprofit. You want to make sure you diversify your revenue streams so that you're getting grants, you're getting donors, individual donors, but also corporate donors and foundations. So look at the mix of the of what you're bringing in to bring revenue into your nonprofit. So remember, like, many of the most brilliant founders can stumble because they treat their nonprofits like an extension of their business, but it's not. It's separate. But what you're doing is you're collaborating and leveraging that nonprofit so that you can do more business. So I'm going to leave you with this, and I'll open it up if anybody has questions. But you want to first start asking yourself, what impact do I want my business to make in my community? And your community to be the area around you or nationally. And then, could a nonprofit or a partnership with a nonprofit get me there faster? So I am available on all social media. If you scan the QR code, or and I'll drop the link in the chat. I'm giving out complimentary discovery calls to help you navigate that question or make those decisions about whether or not this is the right mix for you, if you want to create a social enterprise for your business to help for growth. So with that, Michelle, I don't know if we can open up for questions or whatever other information people have. If you have questions in the chat, please let me know. I hope I've talked really fast. So
you got time for what? 2 questions, but one question was, so basically we do need to have a nonprofit and for-profit simultaneously, like
yes.
combining the two.
Yes, you can. I mean, now, if your business is a nonprofit, that's fine. You do not have to establish a for-profit business, but you just have to remember that your nonprofit is not yours, right? And so you cannot pull revenue, like we need a little extra money or a little extra cash, or you have that owner pay kind of thing in your for-profit business. You cannot do that in a nonprofit business. That is not legal. So you have to just be very careful with that if you establish your business as a nonprofit because, I want to make, I don't have to pay taxes or anything like that. That is not the way to do it. People have gone to jail for less. So you want to make sure that you have 2 separate entities and that there is governance over your nonprofit, which is your board.
Great question. And so another question that came up in the chat is, how does a nonprofit different from a foundation?
Their status, like their tax codes, right? So if you can call your nonprofit a foundation, you can call it whatever you want to, right? It's those codes. So that 501c3, 501c6, and different, those are indicators of how you are classified by IRS. So you want to consult your accountant and your legal team about what is the adequate structure for what you're exactly trying to accomplish through your nonprofit.
Awesome. And last question, final question. So great presentation. Lots of good questions that are coming up in the chat. And remember, if you have more questions, her information to do a consultation is also in the chat if you would like to set up time to meet with Calondra. But also the last question is, what are ways to partner with nonprofits besides donations or in-kind donations? Like, what are some ways that we could, as businesses, partner with nonprofits?
if you're having an event or showcasing what the nonprofits are doing. So if you're having an event and you find nonprofits that are aligned with the work you're doing, bringing them in on that so that they get access to your clients, right? But then you also get access to theirs. You want to make sure that you have mutually beneficial relationships. Is not to say that, oh, I cannot, if I'm doing something for a nonprofit, I cannot sell my business. That's not the case, right? So you want to create opportunities. I work with my clients all the time. When the sponsors or the funders come in, they want to be seen with you. They want to be seen with you. So you want to be seen with the nonprofits that you support. You want to be seen side by side with them so that, again, both of you are getting access and exposure, and can expand your reach.
Yes, I love that. So thank you so much for sharing, Calondra. Again, her information is in the chat, just a wealth of information. What I hear all the time when I talk to business owners and they have this passion for the community and they want to do the work, but I'm like, but is that going to be a revenue for you, or is that a nonprofit that you can create? So you have your business and your nonprofit. So those passion projects, those purpose projects, those I want to help the community, this could be an opportunity for you to have your nonprofit and your for-profit separate together. So thank you so much, Calondra. For more information, make sure you reach out to her. Her information is in the chat, but we are just so thankful to have her as part of the Women's League team and also supporting our work that we do in the organization. And so we also, this is new. When I say new, I believe this is as of 2025. The Atlanta Black Chambers has a nonprofit initiative. So it's kind of not a committee, not a committee like the Women's League, but they are, I guess, a team or organization or initiative where they're meeting and they're doing events and they're having discussions and community for people who have nonprofits or are interested in nonprofits. So it's really great that the Atlanta Black Chambers has taken on this initiative. And we have someone from the nonprofit initiative on the call. Where's Shirley Xavier? Hey, Shirley. There you are.
Hey, I'm here.
Hello. So you are part of you're part of the Women's League team, but you're also part of the nonprofit because you have your very own nonprofit, the Yay Foundation. So tell us just a little bit about your nonprofit and also the nonprofit initiative within the Atlanta Black Chambers.
Okay, awesome. Well, first and foremost, thank you, Michelle, for giving us the opportunity to be on the platform today. I'm actually not here alone. I'm here with Rosalind Lett. So Rosalind, you could just say hi real quick. And yep, so she's waving on the camera. So she'll probably come in on the tail end if there's any time. But Calondra, you did an amazing presentation. So much so, a lot of the stuff that we wanted to share, you talked about it, girl. So definitely right on point when it comes to that. So like Michelle said, my name is Shirley Xavier. I'm part of the women's planning team and also a couple other committees within the Atlanta Black Chambers. But this new nonprofit initiative that may be a committee down the line has just formulated this year to help nonprofit owners like some of you on the call or those of you who are looking to start a nonprofit, making sure that you guys don't get into the pitfalls or the situations that Calondra had talked about, because it's very imperative that you have all your information and all your ducats lined up, as they would say, before starting a nonprofit. My nonprofit is called Yay Foundation, and the mission is to transform or convert global waste into clean, renewable energy in underserved countries. Here's the kicker. I never in a million years thought that I was going to go into that, right? My thought, my purpose, my intention was to start a hospital in honor of my mom. And here I am doing that work, right? So that's what happens a lot of times in nonprofits. You're passionate about what it is that you're looking to do. You know, you're driven, you're mission forward. You got your head really focused and fixed on the prize. And sometimes you might have to pivot along the way. You might have to shift. You might have to alter. A lot of things that Calondra had mentioned. One of the main things she said is that the nonprofit does not belong to you. It belongs to the people. So if the people are not, first of all, understanding what you're saying or even falling in love with your mission, guess what? You're not going to get any profit. So you're going to be purposeful. You're going to have this meaning, but you need to know how to convey your message. You need to know how to speak to the masses. You need to know how to build your community. Who is your community? Who is your target market? All those different things, and really make sure that your message comes across in a clear, concise way that people can galvanize around your cause to be able to help you with your mission. Ironically enough, when it comes to businesses, as we know, if once you have a business and you reach what, your 5-year anniversary, you in business, right? It's like celebration. Look, I got some people like, hey, I reached 5 years, right? So you were excited. Well, guess what? The lifespan of a nonprofit, to make sure that they're really a nonprofit, is 1 year. Most nonprofits, and I'm sure Calondra would agree, do not even make it past a year. So if you are a nonprofit owner, you made it past a year on this call, kudos to you. Okay, kudos to you. But now you want to make sure that all those things are in place, like Calondra spoke about. You needing making sure that your structure is right, making sure that your board is right. Because if you don't have the right people behind you and backing you, then you can't get the grants that she talked about, right? A lot of times we're like, oh, let me just go ahead and become a nonprofit, and you forget to get your 501c3 or your titles or different things. So these are the things that we actually talk about in the nonprofit huddle. We have one coming up at the end of this month. It's always the fourth Thursday. Always the fourth Thursday of the month that we do a nonprofit huddle at 6 p.m. And this month we're doing it on October 23rd at 6 p.m. You'll probably see the link coming up in the chat. We always have a guest speaker like Calondra who will come on, an expert SME that will share their expertise as far as what it needs to, the steps that you need to take to make sure that you're successful and profitable within your nonprofit. We also, are looking to do in-person events. So we did our very first in-person event with the nonprofit initiative, as well as my nonprofit last month. So that is right. We did a collaboration. So being able to be in line to know what that looks like and who you can actually collaborate with, because when you collaborate with other nonprofits, that helps you to now be more grant attractive, right? So you could be thinking that you're grant ready, but there's a lot of things that you may not have. So being able to partner up with another nonprofit will help you now to see the people that you're associated with. So I believe that I shared enough on that. But Rosalind, I don't know if you want to close us out. I don't know if we still have within our 5-minute time schedule, but definitely Rosalind is one of the fellow leads on the nonprofit initiative, and her thing is all about the money. So talk to them, Rosalind.
Good morning, everybody.
Hold on, I
And
gotta
thank you for,
find you, Roz. And I love this
okay,
when we have so many people. I'm like, where are you? So let me find you really quick so I can pin you. But keep on talking. And
okay, good morning, and thank you for inviting us. And I really do invite you all to join the nonprofit initiative, because if you have a nonprofit, as Calondra said, you are a business. You are not the owner, but you are running a business, and you should have diversified streams of income. I am a strategic impact consultant and certified grant writer. So one of the things I have been doing, particularly with new nonprofits, is helping you to get grant ready, because you need to be grant ready, fundable, and sustainable. The funders are looking for partnerships. So our nonprofit initiative can help you to meet others who have nonprofits that you might team up with. So if you feel like you can't afford a grant writer on your own, if you collaborate with 4 or 5 other folks, you all can collaboratively write a grant, and each of you pays a small part of that. So think about the ways that you can get funding, because you should have a revenue stream for your nonprofit. You should get donations, you should have sponsors, and then you should get to grants. So grants are not your first stop. You need to work your way up, because the funders want to know that you are sustainable, that you're going to be around, that you are making an impact. So if you're not documenting your impact, you need to start to do that, because they want to know, what do you do? And if you left tomorrow, who would miss you and why? So you need to make sure, and it's not just pictures. You need statistics, you need testimonies, all of these things that will help you demonstrate your impact in the community. So if you come to the Huddle, you'll learn about these things. When we have the in-person events, you can fraternize with other nonprofits, and together we can learn so we can stop being less than 1% of the organizations that receive grant funding.
Awesome.
Thank
So
you.
I think
Thank
that's
you.
our time, Michelle. So thank you so much for having us. We hope to see you guys on our nonprofit huddle this month.
Awesome. Thank you.
We're looking for you.
Information is in the chat so you can be a part of that. What Rosalind said, it just kind of like stuck with me when she said, if you were gone tomorrow, who would miss you and why? And I was like, oh, but that really is a testament to the impact that you're having. You know, it's the who would miss you and why. So Rosalind, that's going to be something that's going to really stick with me. So thank you for sharing that. And thank you for our nonprofit initiative, for all that you do to support our organizations. So please make sure you connect with them. Again, that information is in the chat. Rosalind, please make sure you put your information in the chat because people may be wanting to learn more about grant funding for their nonprofits. All right, so with this being said, as we move on to the agenda, first of all, if you didn't know, October is National Women's Small Business Month. So this is an opportunity that we showcase our women businesses, our women-owned businesses for National Women's Small Business Month. So make sure that you do something specific to support a women-owned business this month. Make sure also from your own social media perspective, make sure you highlight this as a way to celebrate you and, you know, kind of highlight what you do and put your information out there for those who want to support you. So my earrings are from a woman's small business, but just make sure that you're being intentional about that this month as we celebrate our women's small businesses. But kind of in that same vein of celebrating businesses, the Atlanta Black Chambers has a awards program that we have kicked off. We kicked it off. I think this is our third year doing our awards program. And we have someone from the awards team, I think Robert Johnson. Let's see, where are you, Robert?
Good morning, beautiful people. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. So, you know, we don't take this lightly to have, bass on the call. It's like, oh, wait a minute, we got bass on the call this morning.
I'm going to use my upper register so that I'm not, really, infringing on the Atlanta Black Chambers phenomenal Women's League. I am so honored to be a part of this call this morning and to see such bright, beautiful, amazing, dynamic, talented women business owners. I know personally that it's not easy to be in business, but I also know specifically for Black women, it is that much more complicated, difficult, and challenging to be in business. And so it's wonderful to hear the beautiful stories this morning around nonprofits, right? That is an amazing pathway into making a difference in the community. And Calondra just really did a phenomenal job, even inspiring me. Do I need to start a nonprofit? Because we all want to give back. And sometimes we think it's just by the products and or the services that we offer. But God has given each of us something uniquely and distinctly, as I heard it a long time ago, and it never left me. Whatever pains your heart is the purpose that God has given you to fulfill in this life. And so I'm excited to be a part of this call to talk about celebrating our amazing ABC members. This is the 3rd+ year, as Michelle mentioned, of this award. Let me back up just a moment. I'm Robert H. Johnson, Jr., and I have the privilege of leading our Training and Professional Development Committee along with 5 other dynamic members and leaders in the ABC. And this year, when it came to the ABC Awards, we heard you. You said, hey, how can I nominate someone? How can I be nominated? How can I be considered for an ABC Business of the Year award or ABC Member of the Year award? And so this year we've established an awards committee. We've established, as I hope you've seen, and I also dropped in the link, a dynamic landing page where you can learn more about how you can nominate yourself or another deserving woman and or person who runs a small business. And I want to say this, ladies, I'm a staunch advocate for Black women. I came from a Black woman. My Black grandmamas made me the man that I am today. I coach, mentor, and develop Black women, particularly because I understand the complexities and the challenges that you face. And so I was excited to share a little bit more details around how and why you should nominate you or someone else. first and foremost, you should nominate you or someone. Here's a little bit of the criteria for Business of the Year. If you are or they are an active member in good standing, so you've been here at ABC, you have participated and engaged in activities, people know your face, right? Your business has demonstrated significant growth, or you've developed some product or initiative or service that is a game changer, right? Real strong resilience, demonstrated that resilience, because we know that these have been some challenging years for small business owners and or nonprofit leaders, right? Organizations. We also want to ensure that your business has made a positive and makes a positive impact on the Black community through either job creation, mentorship, some sort of social responsibility initiative or campaign through your work. Lastly, for the Business of the Year award, we just want to ensure that you are known by their ABC leadership team members, board members, so on and so forth. That doesn't mean preferred. That just means that, again, if I see that, Michelle Glover is nominated, oh yes, I saw Michelle, as a matter of fact, at the Veterans event last night. She was telling me about the amazing things that she's been working on. We all know, how do they say, the squeaky wheel gets the oil? We know that visibility is a game changer in business. It's also a way to ensure that you get the recognition that you deserve. So that's if you're a business and you want to be recognized or nominated for Business of the Year. Now, Member of the Year, if you want to be considered or want to nominate someone for Member of the Year, again, be a member in good standing. And I know that we have a large number of women on the call. I think 100 or so women on this call. Amazing on a Friday morning. You could be doing a whole lot of other things. But be an active member in good standing, actively engaged in our programming, as I just mentioned, same for the business award. Advocate for and demonstrate a commitment to Black businesses, right? Maybe you've launched a campaign to help support a Black business staying in, business. Maybe you have provided a service or innovative product to help a business or your own move forward. Maybe you're doing something unique in AI, right? Tell us, share that story, nominate yourself. Also, again, support the active growth of the ABC, whether it's being on a board. Maybe you are supporting Michelle's great work with the Women's League, or you're supporting the veterans, or you volunteer. Somehow be really actively engaged. Also, our values are simple: integrity, professionalism, and business excellence. Be a great representation of those values. And then, again, one last note for the Business of the Year or the Member of the Year. Unfortunately, ABC leadership team members and board members are not eligible for nomination. Now, if you volunteer, you're eligible. However, if you're part of coordinating events, if you are a direct member, so excuse what I said a minute ago, if you're a direct member of the Women's League board, you're not eligible. But if you're a volunteer, you come out to the events and you support word of mouth, however that looks like for you, you are eligible. The last thing I'll say to ensure that I stay within my 4-minute timeline is the awards are open now. I'm going to drop the link again to the landing page. Please don't be shy. This is not the time to be bashful or humble. This is a time to be confident and say, I know that I'm a strong business, that I'm an active and engaged member of the ABC, and my business deserves recognition. Or I'm a member that is, I like to think of as the most supportive player for the ABC and its initiatives. Again, award nominations are open. You have until November 7th to submit. We will begin reviewing those applications December of this year. Member voting will begin in January, and then we're going to announce the winners at the ABC Gala in April. So I hope to see lots of nominations coming from this dynamic group of ABC members, business owners, and leaders. So Michelle, can I mention one last thing?
Yes, please.
One last thing. As the chair of the Training and Professional Development Committee, I wanted to drop this in your ear. We have an event coming up on November 5th. You should be seeing the registration link coming out next week, but as soon as I get it, I will send it to Michelle. We only have room for 50 people. We're hosting a workshop. I like to think of it as Relationship Goals 101, how to build, cultivate, and nurture quality relationships that will help your business thrive. You know, too often we go to our network when we just want, hey, Michelle, I need something. Can you help me with this? And Michelle's like, I haven't seen you in months. I haven't talked to you in forever. And you haven't supported me. Let's be real. People support people that support them. But we got to know how to build those relationships. How do I initiate, engage, and build the relationship forward? November 5th, stay tuned. But first and foremost, submit your nomination for yourself or a friend. Michelle, thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much. See, we can have you on the call to share. You had great insight. So, we don't always have the base on the call, but that was worth it. So thank you so much, Robert, for all you do, not only for the awards team, but also for training and professional development. Super excited for the initiatives you all have coming out for that part of the organization, and so excited about the awards. And you were spot on. This is not a time to be like, well, I'll just wait. If no one nominates me, woo, woo, woo. No, nominate yourself. Shoot. Get that award. So please make sure that you take advantage of that opportunity. So very excited for that program, and that information is in the chat. All right, so we are moving down on the agenda here. Just a few announcements for the Women's League. So we had a phenomenal Cocktails on the Course event a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, when was that? It felt like forever ago, maybe 2 weeks ago at Flat Creek. So much fun. And so if you went to Cocktails on the Course, put that in the chat that I was there. Hopefully you learned some new golf skills, and the weather is still nice. So this is a great time to practice for Cocktails on the Course, getting out there and starting to use the skills that you learn. So as we out the year for the Women's League, that was our last, big major event for the year. But what we have coming up is we have our upcoming Lunch and Learn. That is next week, Wednesday, October the 22nd. It's going to be at Uptown Atlanta in Buckhead, where the GOC had their conference. It's going to be in one of the conference rooms at Uptown. I think we have 4 seats left, so please register for that. We also have the registration, the wait list available. So if you miss it and it sells out, join the wait list because if people cancel, we'll add you to that event. So again, this is our second Lunch and Learn that we've done for the year, and we're super excited because we're going to talk about building business credit. Yes, you need business credit, and how to leverage business credit to elevate your business. So please make sure you join that next Wednesday. And again, put your name on the wait list because we may, if people cancel, we'll add you to the event. And some people are like, Michelle, you just promoted it. How is it sold out so fast? And that's because we have our text link that, our text community that gets things first. And so please make sure, I think there may be an issue with the text community. We'll get that worked out, but join our text community. And so that way you can be the first one to know about something. And that way you don't miss it when it sells out. Also, we have coming up our think tank. Our final think tank for 2025 is November what day is that? The 19th or the 20th or 21st? I can't remember the date, but that link will be in the chat if you want to attend the final think tank for 2025. The think tanks this year have been like insane. So Danita Dolman, who is our think tank lead, has really created or cultivated a great experience where we're talking about specific topics and working through those. And the feedback has been phenomenal. You all have showed out. I think almost everything has been sold out. Think Tank has been sold out. It has been a phenomenal experience in how she's elevated it. So you do not want to miss the final Think Tank of 2024. Nope, 2025. And that's sometime in November. I can't remember the date, but that information is in the chat. So, all right. So speaking of events, we have some ABC events, member events that are coming up that we want to share. I want to see, is Lynnette on the call this morning? Lynnette, are you there? Let's see, where are you? And again, I love when I have to scroll through the different screens here to find people. That's just a testament to everybody being on the call. Oh, there you are. Okay, so you have an event coming up for the ABC as part of MCAT. Tell us about the event and how people can register and be a part of that experience.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Michelle, for inviting me to let everybody know what we're doing. Next Thursday, 11 o'clock sharp, we'll be talking about these. Let's do a poll right quick. How many people here, put your hand or put a 1 in the chat, that would say, I could tell you that you can come to this event You can save 10 hours a week, double your client base, and protect your business from cybersecurity threats all at the same time. Do you want to know a little bit more about that?
And Lynnette, we can barely hear you. Can you speak? I think it's the sound. Can we? It was just coming in a little soft. So let's try that sound again. Because everybody's like, I want to know. But what if we don't know the question? But I think it's good. So let's see if we can get that sound going. Let's see. Let's test that out again. And as she's working through the sound, I'll just have another quick announcement for the ABC. The Uncle Nearest tour is, I think there's maybe 5 seats left. That's tomorrow, where we're traveling to Uncle Nearest for the whiskey tasting. And I got my book, so maybe I'll bring my book. Oh, you can't see it because I have on the thing, but my love and whiskey, I'm bringing my book. Maybe I can get somebody to sign it. But that event is tomorrow. I think there's 5 tickets left. So if you want to do it, if you were thinking about it, make sure you register so you can be there and experience the Uncle Nearest experience. I mean, not only if it's whiskey tasting, but it's also really good history that you can be a part of. So that is also available. Let's check that audio. Lynnette, can you test it out? But as she is getting that situated, let's go ahead and because you're talking about AI, and I just saw where Bethany has an event coming up on AI. So let's see, Bethany, tell us what you have coming up and how we can be a part of that. And just for the record, Bethany has been such a great member of the Atlanta Black Chambers Women's League. She has been a speaker for the retreat that set everyone on fire. She spoke at calls, and she is just a phenomenal person who really has a passion for helping women grow and scale and create enterprise. And so we're super excited to have her as part of the league and share what she has coming up at the end of the month.
Hey, ladies, so excited to see you. Listen, so we are having an event at the Commerce Club on October 30th, and this is going to be a different conversation about AI. Everything that we're doing in business right now is different. What worked 6 months ago is not working now. Identities are under attack. Whole organizations are under attack. And what we stand for and who we are might not feel safe right now. We have to do more with less. We cannot stop. We have to be resilient, and we have to go through it to get through it. So the conversation that we're going to have at the Commerce Club on October 30th, there's going to be food, there's going to be champagne, but more importantly, there's going to be a conversation about how you need to think differently right now to take your business to the next level. I don't care what your experience is with AI, if you're afraid of it, if you're using it. This is a conversation to take our business and our thinking to the next level. How we move has to be strategic right now. We have to have long-term goals, and we are only one person. We cannot be a superwoman all the time. But one of the things that many of us go into business is to build a legacy, to share generational wealth. And what I know is when we have money, communities get better, organizations get better, families get better, our world gets better. So this is not an option right now. We have to be resilient, and we cannot do that by ourselves. So at this event, you're not only going to get fed and well watered, but you will also be surrounded by people that will challenge the way you think, by conversations and people that are there to help you build and go to the next level. With the ABC, we have a community that is not like any other community. And if we do not expand our network, then we are doing this on our own, and we can't. We have a long couple of years ahead of us, and we need as much support from each other as possible. You don't know who's going to be in that room. Your next client can be in that room. Your next partner can be in that room. Your next deal can be in that room. So please join us. It's in the evening, Commerce Club, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. I know it's a little late, but I promise you, you will get filled up. You will think about how can I leverage AI differently from a strategic point of view so we can take things to the next level. We have to do this and we have to use each other. Like, we've got to get through this together, and let's think at a different level so we can grow and elevate ourselves, our business, our community, our lives, all the things. I'll see you there.
So how do we register for this event? Because everybody's like, "What? She had me at AI." So
Here, I dropped it. It's in there. It's an event.
perfect.
Yeah, there's an Eventbrite link.
Okay, perfect. So make sure that the event that you put in the chat, that was the think tank. Is there an event?
Hold on. Sorry, I got that up. Hold on, my bad.
Okay, so make sure she'll put that in the chat. And also, Lynnette, if you can put in your information from the chat, because I don't think that was working.
now?
Yes, we can. And so you've
Awesome.
got a minute. So let's, if you could share briefly and put
Right,
that
I'll make it
information
quick.
in the chat. There you go. Where did you go?
I'll make it quick. Coming up October the 23rd, next Thursday, 11 o'clock to 12. We've already put it in the chat for you a couple of times. Thank you, team, for that. Come find out how you can save 10 hours a week, double your client base, as well as protect your business from cybersecurity threat all in one time. We would love to have you. We're going to teach you how to grow, automate, and protect your business using AI. Lynnette Furr, CEO and Chief Security Advisor of iCare Technology Geeks. See you there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And the link isn't working, Lynnette. So if you could check that link and put that in again, that would be great. So people have access to that. Again, if you could double check that, Lynnette, because it's not working on our side. So if you can put that in so people can join, because I'm super excited for all of these events that we have coming up in AI. So we're talking about AI. We're like, okay, cool. Now I want to switch gears a little bit. And I'm going to take 5 extra minutes because we have some really good announcements and things you want to hear before we wrap up today. Let's see. I see the fabulous Evonya. There we go. On the call today. So you have an event coming up, and I cannot emphasize this enough. People say, I want top dollar. I want top dollar. I want to have a high price point. I want all of these things. And then when we look at their branding, when we look at their imagery, when we look at their headshot, we're like, wait a minute, this looks like you took it off an iPhone. And so many people, they're just, just not, your brand for what you want has to be reflected in all the things that you do and how you present yourself externally, and then also the work that you do internally for your clients. And so you have an event coming up to say, hey, I got you. Your headshot's not that great. I got you. So tell us what you have so we can be a part of that experience.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Michelle, again. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed all the information, really enjoyed the nonprofit, because before I started my own business, I worked in the nonprofit space as well. So I thought that was very informative. And I still work with nonprofits from a fundraising impact standpoint. But today, wanting to chat about your personal style and how you show up in the world, because light does travel faster than sound. So people do see you before you speak. And so that is what my job is all about, empowering men and women, but mainly women, to show up how they want to be seen in the world, because they don't always have the time or the desire to go out and shop, and the logistics of wearing the right outfit, making sure it fits properly, and still showing up to close those deals, speak at conferences, and be on stages. So I have a brand photo shoot where I provide every single thing, everything from the photography, makeup, the studio, set design, professional makeup and photography, set design, and then of course the wardrobe, shoes, and accessories. You literally only have to show up in the proper undergarments, and we take care of the rest. You get all of your images, which is normally about 150 images. You get 3 outfit changes, which means you get like 12 outfits to choose from to narrow down to the 3. But I made it very convenient because I work with a lot of busy professionals, and the logistics of trying to, okay, I got to find a photographer. I got to get makeup. I got to find somewhere to shoot. And then I got to figure out what to wear. And then I got to show up. It's overwhelming. So we have a team. So all you have to do is show up and have a good time. We have food, music. It's an experience. But you also walk away with your brand assets that you need for visibility. So that could be for your website, social media content, LinkedIn, headshots, and of course, person media. Because when you get interviewed in a magazine or anywhere, they're going to ask you for a picture, and you need to have a great picture that reflects who you are today. because a lot of times our hair changes, we gain weight, we lost weight. You don't look like you did 5 years ago. You want to update your picture. So we are having our last one of the year coming up next month, and then we'll start again in January. So if anyone is interested, they can contact me and we can chat about it. Thank you, Michelle.
Awesome. That was great. So everyone's like, wait, we want to contact. So her information is in the chat so you can get that experience. But that's so cool because it's so much, it's so many things to coordinate. And I just want to show up. I just want to show up. So thank you so much for creating that, cultivating that experience. And that information is in the chat if you want to be a part of it. Again, really good information to share. All right. So the last event that I have is coming up on October the 25th, next weekend. Let's see. Kaden, are you here to share about what's coming up on October the 25th? There you are. Hello.
Hi, no, thank you so much again, Michelle, and everyone for being here. We're in that fourth quarter push, first quarter planning space, and I love that you reminded us that it's Small Women's Business Month, as well as, if you didn't know, menopause awareness, breast cancer awareness, mental health, and the list goes on. And so the event that's coming up on the 25th, it's in collaboration with Dr. Linda, and it is all about women's wellness and what we're doing. We have a power panel of health and wellness, voices that can definitely help us to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves now, as well as into the new year, as powerful business owners as we are. And so you can look forward to some nice brunch bites. Definitely the mimosas will be flowing. Again, the panel will be amazing. I'm super excited for the conversation, as well as vending. Vendors will be there for you to patronize and support fellow women entrepreneurs. So that is Saturday, October 25th in Atlantic Station. So it's local, it's easy to get to. There's 2 hours free parking. And if you use the code HER, you'll get money off of your ticket today. Okay.
Okay, I froze for a minute. I think I'm back. I hope I'm back.
Yeah.
So welcome. Okay, good. I was like, whoo. So thank you so much for sharing that information. And yeah, they do pack everything for women in October. Like, can we not spread this out for the year? But make sure you join that. Dr. Linda cultivates our Women's League retreats, and she puts on a phenomenal experience. So I know on the 25th, that will be equally as amazing. So make sure you do that. Invite your friends. We're going to celebrate this transition in our lives, as I call it, puberty 5.0. We're going to celebrate it and have some fun with it, mimosas and fellowship and women and empowerment. I am here for all of those things. So make sure you join on October the 25th. All right, so as we're rounding out, and I am going to take all of my extra 5 minutes, make sure that you follow the Women's League on LinkedIn. Make sure that you also check out our website that we're super excited about. Make sure you get the text messages. You can opt into that. And the most important thing is make sure you engage with the community. We have some upcoming events, and just see where you can join as well. So I do want to shout out so people don't yell at me like, my birthday's in October and you didn't shout me out. I want to hear from my October birthdays. If you have a birthday in the month of October, put that in the chat so we can give you some love and celebrate you. All of my October birthdays, put that in the chat so we can wish you a very happy birthday. I think every year is something to celebrate. Oh, Kat, your birthday is tomorrow. Happy early birthday. I hear some other birthdays. Happy birthday. Again, if your birthday is on, your mama, happy birthday to moms. If your birthday's in the chat, if your birthday's in October, make sure you put that in the chat. I don't think I saw any more coming up, but I see a lot of happy birthday wishes, which is also amazing. If your business anniversary is in the month of October, put that in the chat, because that is also a blessing that we want to celebrate. If you have a business anniversary, put that in the chat. Hey, I do. October 18th is my business anniversary. So yay to me. But put that in the chat if you have a business anniversary, because every year you're in business is truly a blessing. Okay, Kaden, 7 years strong. You go, girl. So make sure you do that, because again, it is truly a blessing. So with that being said, we've had a lot to cover today, but thank you all so much for hanging on to our Women's League call. I hope you gained some tips and nuggets to help you in your business. We do this every third Friday at 8:30 in the morning. So make sure you just join us, put it on your calendar. The last call for the Women's League, our last meeting is November, the third Friday of November. We do not have a call in December. I love y'all, but sister girl needs a break. So the last call is November. So make sure you mark your calendar because that is going to be a dynamic and awesome party of a call in November. So with that being said, I'm going to stay on the line for an additional 5-10 minutes. I'll leave the line open for questions. So make sure you stay on if you have some specific questions that myself or the team can answer. Shout out to Kaya Dalton, who helped support the chat today. So Kaya, let's give her some love. I think some other team members, I think Tina was help supporting it. And also shout out to our new engagement team. Let me take the pin off and just put it in gallery mode. Our new engagement team. Shout out to our new engagement team. I saw them working. Y'all working hard. I saw Couture working. Chef Couture is in the chat. I saw Taria and Tani and team. And so we have this engagement team that Tani is leading to really make sure that we keep the community of the Women's League strong, because sometimes it gets so big you can get lost in the fray. And so our engagement team has helped to promote community, and they're going to be reaching out and checking in on you all. So just stay tuned for the initiatives coming out from our engagement team. But we're super excited for the work that they were doing as well. So y'all working hard in the chat today. So again, thank you all so much. Also, again, as we know, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So I do want to make sure that we all schedule our mammograms. If you don't have it scheduled this month, get it scheduled for next month. You don't have to do it now if you're like, oh, I don't have time. You know what? Make time. Make time, because we need you here and we want you here. And we want to make sure that things that we can do to prevent, stay on top of our health, that we do. So again, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. For all of those who are survivors of breast cancer awareness, put that in the chat, because we want to give you love and all the virtual loves that we have. If you are a survivor of breast cancer, you can put that in. I'm going to see someone says their appointment coming up. And again, for those who maybe lost the battle here on earth, we definitely want to take a moment just to say to our sisters who maybe didn't survive here on earth the battle with breast cancer, that we think and we love them too. So again, make sure that you stay on top of your health, because your health truly is your wealth. And I saw some people put in the chat that I'm a 2-time survivor, and that is awesome. We love you, and we are just so proud of you for continuing the fight. All right, so with that being said, thank you all so much for joining our Women's League call. Have a phenomenal rest of the day. Have a phenomenal rest of October. We hope to see you at our Lunch and Learn next week. And if not, then we hope to see you at our think tank in November. And we may have a little surprise before the end of the year. So stay tuned for that. But you all have a great day. And thanks for joining our October 3rd Friday call. Bye, everyone.